Hey there, and welcome back to Quasi Trek. This is Paul, and it's a somewhat blustery spring day here in Colorado, but that means that it's spring and I'm only a couple of weeks away from getting out on the road for my next little adventure. I won't divulge what that is right now, but it's coming soon. In the meantime, I've pieced together from my video archives a few kind of blooper related videos from my trip around North America last summer. And this first one is touching on something that if you're out in the wilderness, you're hiking, you're camping, you're climbing, you're going to be dealing with this. And it's insects and critters. So this video is just kind of a compilation of some of my trials, tribulations, and run-ins with those types of things on my trip last year. Some of them were actually good run-ins, but not most. But enjoy the video. There'll be a couple more on the way with different subject matter. But in the meantime, I'll see you out there in a couple weeks on the trail. And actually what you're not seeing here is Canada geese. I am literally in a minefield of goose poop, and it's not like normal bird poop. It's like animal poop, big turds. Oh, look at this guy. See that thing? That's one of those deer flies. Oh God. You know, the insects here, it's like warfare on humans. You know, the mosquitoes are bad enough, and that's why I'm definitely team dragonfly, and I'm just loving seeing that swarm of them up there because they are voracious mosquito eaters. So go baby, go. But those damn deer flies, those things are like kamikaze rage machines, man. They just zero in on you and they go full ballistic until they get you. I hate them. And where it rains a lot, there's a lot of mosquitoes. So even when I'm outside, you know, I've gotten to the point where I'm wearing a mosquito net because they're just so relentless. Look at that damn thing. That's the kind of stuff that I'm dealing with out here. So as promised, I am hauling ass through here. So forgive the bouncy camera work, but there are just swarms and swarms of mosquitoes. It's marshy in here, it's shady, it's cool, a lot of undergrowth. They love it. According to my thermometer on my car, it's 49 degrees out, which is below the magic number that mosquitoes do not seem to appreciate. Beautiful spot here though. And no mosquitoes right now. So my videotaping will be brief and sparse on this hike on the Mirror Lake Loop or Summit Peak Loop, but because of the mosquitoes. Well, it's pretty, but that explains why there's so many mosquitoes in this pine forest. Just went into the ranger shack to turn in my permit. And when I came back out to the car, no exaggeration, there must have been 200 to 300 mosquitoes just hovering around the outside of my car. Hello, dragonfly, my favorite insect right now that eats mosquitoes. So I am not going to have the benefit here of cold temperatures to keep the mosquitoes in check. And I mean, they are definitely all over the place. But what's worse is for the last hour driving in here, I noticed whenever I slowed down for a stop sign or anything of that type, my car was being like bombarded by large kamikaze like insects, and I've been able to confirm that they are in fact deer flies. I couldn't even open my door and get out of the car quickly and get back in without 3 or 4 deer fly flying into my car. As an experiment, I just monitored my speedometer as I was driving out of the park back there, and up to 20 miles an hour the deer fly were keeping up with me, which means that unless you are Usain Bolt, you can't outrun those little devils. Yeah. See all those insects? None of them are mosquitoes. I don't know what they are, but they're not. I can just stand here. Nothing's biting me. Nothing. It's insane. I am surrounded by water and marsh and forest and undergrowth, and I have not been bitten by one mosquito. I mean, I literally almost stepped on this guy. Yeah, you. That's who. I was hoping to get to a clearing to see some stars, but actually all I really accomplished was attracting a whole lot of moths to me. No mosquitoes, no horseflies, no black flies, no biting insects, but boy, there are a lot of moths out in this forest. And mosquitoes are thick. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. That was the biggest swarm of mosquitoes I've ever seen in my life. There were like thousands of them all in one spot. All that does is go off into the tall grass. I don't see any trail markers. And it was actually tall grass like this where a tick latched on to me earlier in the week. And I was bitten by a tick my first day in Du Bois, Wyoming. I'm on antibiotics for that as a precaution, but no way of knowing for at least another week whether I contracted somehow Rocky Mountain spotted fever or Lyme disease. As much as I would love to hike this 3-mile trail to the base of Mount Hood, if these are horseflies or deer flies, and it's anything like it was in Wisconsin, done deal. That's a deal killer for me. Well, not surprisingly, in this forest, it's also kind of mosquito territory. I'm gonna stop in this little clearing here. I tried to stop a ways back to put on some, I can't even stop. I do have some bug repellent like wet wipes in my bag, but to get to those I would have to stop and be still for a minute or two, and in that period of time I could be bitten 100 times. So my best defense is to move fast. Fortunately, at least for the moment, the trail it's a little sandy, but it's still fairly firm. But yeah, I want to get out onto the actual beach where it's windy so I can get away from any of these bugs. All right, here we go. The dark forest, and it is it's like going through a tunnel, but a tunnel completely infested with mosquitoes. Now I'm seeing the bats come out. Started with 1, and then 3, and then 5. At first they were just up high in the treetops, but now they're swooping down lower. And I can see little swarms of bugs above me. Camera can't pick it up. They're coming down for those. I love it. You're not gonna be a problem, are you? You and your little friends raiding my campsite and getting into my car. Yeah, you got plenty of nuts. Just stay with those. So that's my campsite up there. And it's a really nice campsite. Except for one thing. It's proximity to the vault toilet. So 15–20% of the time I'm downwind of that, so I get the smell of open sewer basically. And because there's a smell of open sewer, basically there's an infestation of sewer flies up there. Yeah, so I can't even stand still for 1 second without a fly on me. But I'm gonna be hanging out in my car for a little while because of that thing. That's the Vault toilet. And on these smaller campsites, especially out west, those are real popular. And they're basically just permanent outhouses, latrines. But they also have swarms of flies around them at all times, so you're just always gonna have flies landing on you, which is annoying and disgusting. More bear scat. That's at least the 10th to 12th pile that I've found, and I've probably gone less than a mile. Oh God, these mosquitoes, man. I mean, it's like it doesn't matter how much bug spray I have on me. They just, they might not bite, but damn, they're gonna just hover in your face and in your ears. There's a deer right in front of my car. I thought earlier there's somebody walking their dog and they had like a big tan Newfoundland, and for some reason out of the corner of my eye I thought that their dog got away. So I saw a sign back there said livestock on the highway, and within 100 yards there was a herd of cattle hanging out on the highway. So in front of my car, because I've done so many highway miles, is plastered with dead insects. And now yellow jackets here, being carnivores, are feeding on the bodies of those dead insects. And I'm sure that they're spreading the word, and more of them are showing up. So now my car is going to be like the main food source for these little bastards. Look at this. Everywhere you go, always something with insects. So that's the water spigot. And that is a swarm of hornets. There are basically only 3 kinds of insects that I've seen up here on top of this mountain, and they all happen to be my 3 favorites. In fact, the only 3 I think that are on the good list: dragonflies, butterflies, and bees. That's all I've seen up here, and in large quantities for all 3. And it's pretty cool.